The meteor that killed the dinosaurs, it hit 50 miles from here. At the time, the whole Yucatan Peninsula was underwater, and it would be that way for millions of years. The reef and shells built up over time till they were 3,500 feet deep, and it stayed underwater until the last ice age. When that ice began to form over North America and Europe, all the water that had been in that ocean got drawn up onto the land. Ocean levels dropped 200 feet lower than they are now. It's hard to imagine that, but it was. Like the blue hole in Belize, it's 2.5 hours to get out there. That used to be above water. And when that happened, that shelf, 3,500 feet of limestone came up out of the water. What is now a big chunk of Mexico literally came up out of the water for the first time. The rain was acidic, and so as it fell, it went down through that limestone in little cracks and began to corrode it away and create a big cave system. In some areas, the cave broke in the middle, and that section collapsed down, and it created what's called the cenote, or the Mayans named it water tank. Because it's jungle now, but back then, 5,000 years ago, it was arid. And so the Mayans that lived here would build their civilizations around these cenotes and then rely on the rainwater that was collecting inside of them, like this. But then when the ice age ended, the water level came back up again. And these caves that had been primarily empty began to fill up with water. There's two types of water here. There's salt water from the groundwater, because as the ocean came up, it began to push up in the water table. And so at the bottom of these cenotes, you'll find salt water. And then at the top, rainwater comes down and fills this up. So this here is fresh water, but go down a little bit, 30 feet, and you're in salt water. That meant that these caves that used to be primarily dry began to fill up with water. So way in the back of them, you will find artifacts of humans far, far back in there that are now completely underwater. And way offshore, you will find caves in there that also have human remains in them, because that used to be above water. That's what happens when ice sheets melt. Sea levels go up. Here, they went up 200 feet. So we're at a cenote called the Two Eyes. This particular cenote was undiscovered until 1985, when Hurricane Mitch hit Mexico. It destroyed the jungle. And for the first time, helicopters over could see down into the jungle, and they saw two eyes looking back up to them. Two cenotes. 1989, National Geographic went into the jungle and found these. These link 47 miles of caves down in here. And today we're gonna go dive. You see that sign? It said forbidden to cross. That's where we're gonna go.